PMC Sports. On this video, we talking about should the Lakers trade Russell Westbrook and what should they trade him for? Will trading Russell Westbrook make a difference for the team this year, or will it just make them a slightly better? Pros and cons to it. To me, I'm gonna start off by saying that just to jump right into it, I'm gonna start off by saying that I think that it can go both ways. To me, I can see why the Lakers should trade Russell Westbrook, and I can see how if they was to trade Russell Westbrook, there are better trades out there than the one that everybody is suggesting, which is the Indiana Pacers trade. Let me start off by saying I don't really think the Indiana Pacers trade is the way to go for the Lakers. You have Miles Turner, you got Buddy Hield. That's who they think the Lakers should give up both of their picks for, both of their 2027 and 2029 first round picks for. Well, Buddy Hield last night injured himself pregame on the ball boy's foot. He came down on the ball boy's foot, injured his ankle. Buddy Hield has been injury prone for a few years. So last night kind of was like it was like a hint. It's like a hint to the Lakers. Hey, look, he's injury prone. He's injury prone. You have an injury prone big already. That was kind of like a little nudge, a little hint. And then Buddy Hield, he did play. What was his numbers? 6 of 16 from the field. He shot 37% from the field. 4-11 from three. He shot 36% from the three-point line. And they are saying that Buddy Hield is a sniper. He's a sharpshooter. No, he is not. Buddy Hield is a volume shooter who is now regressing as a player and as a shooter. I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks for that. That doesn't make you a title team. Doesn't even make you close. It doesn't even provide enough help for you to even be of value. And I'm on the side of 50-50 in this. I'm really 60-40 of not trading the picks. And the reason why I'm 60-40 on not trading the picks to get rid of Russell Westbrook is because, first, I don't think there's a trade that we can do removing Russell Westbrook that makes us a title team, that makes us a championship contender. So why would you trade your future picks for your fate at the end of the season to be the same? You lose in the playoffs with him, you lose in the playoffs without him. Now, here's where I'm leaning towards the 40% in some way. Is you can move him, but you can't just move him. If you tell me you're moving Russell Westbrook and you're going to find a way to move Pat Beverly, who's making $13 million also, then that makes sense, because now you can probably restructure the roster with like 4 to 5 players in doing deals like that. But to tell me, hey, they should just move Russell Westbrook for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, an injury-prone big that can't rebound that well, and overrated shooter who's inaccurate and requires a lot of volume. I don't really think that's the way we should go. I don't think that's what we should do there, if I had to move Russell Westbrook, I would go for a trade that would bring me in about 3 players. And I looked at the San Antonio Spurs. They lost last night. They have players that I think the Lakers should look, if the Lakers wanted to make a move, players that the Lakers should go after, where they probably would only have to give up 1 pick. I would move Westbrook and maybe 1 first-round pick and maybe a second over to the Spurs for Doug McDermott. That's where you get your shooting. Josh Richardson, that's where you get your defense and as a wing defender, and Jakob Poeltl. That's where you'll get another big man. That there, to me, the Spurs are tanking. They have picks. They are fine taking on Westbrook, and they're trying to tank anyway for Victor Wembanyama. So I think that trade there, where you don't have to probably give up 2 picks, would work better for you, because then you're getting three players, and you are getting three players that you can utilize. McDermott can come off the bench. Josh Richardson can start. That to me makes sense. And if I was to move Pat Bev, I also seen the Orlando Magic last night. The Orlando Magic played the Detroit Pistons. They looked good to start. Paulo Banchero looked good. He had a good game, but the Magic are tanking also. They're tanking. They're not trying to win. They have players that they signed, but they would like to trade them also. And probably in another 20 to 25 games, 30 games, they'll probably be looking to move off some guys also. And I think that Gary Harris, their two guard, he's another 6'4", 6'5" shooting guard. He's a wing. You can play Josh Richardson and Gary Harris. I will move Patrick Beverly and maybe a couple second-round picks for Gary Harris. In that scenario, okay, now I got Gary Harris, Josh Richardson. I got McDermott off the bench, and I got Jakob Poeltl at the center position. You're saving money, and you're getting rid of guys that don't necessarily fit. Patrick Beverly don't really provide nothing, and you're guard heavy. So now in your starting lineup with this new lineup, you can let LeBron run the point. You can let Gary Harris and Josh Richardson be the two wing defenders. AD at the 4, Jakob Poeltl at the 5. You have a nice lineup that way. That makes more sense than saying, hey, we're going to bring in Buddy Hield to be the 2 guard. Well, he can't defend. Well, he's a shooter. Well, he's not that great of a shooter anymore. He's an okay shooter. He's a streaky shooter. Like, you're giving up a pick for that, and you're giving up a pick for Miles Turner, who's injured, like always injured. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I think the Indiana Pacers will, even if you want those guys that bad, I'm not giving up 2 picks for them. They're going to have to come down on their asking price for those 2 guys. They're not worth 2 picks. They're not getting a first for neither one of them, to be honest with you. Miles Turner is on an expiring contract, and whoever trades for him, one, he's injury prone, and they're not going to pay him the money he's looking for. So you're not getting a first round pick for Miles Turner probably. Christian Woods ain't get a first. Did Christian Woods get a first round pick? I would have to look that up, and I don't think so. And if he did, he's better than Miles Turner. So I'm not giving up a first for Miles Turner and another first for Buddy Hield, because essentially that's what you're doing, just to give them Russell Westbrook an expiring contract of $47 million. Nah, I'm not doing that. And then I gotta pay Buddy Hield $20-something million next year, and I gotta probably re-sign Miles Turner. It does nothing for you, and it ruins your cap space, and you gave up more draft assets. Like, I'm not doing that. If you tell me, hey, we give up a first and 3 seconds for the 4 guys that I named in a trade, where we would get Josh Richardson, McDermott, Jakob Poeltl, and Gary Harris, that makes sense to me. We would end up being in a better position that way. I would do that move, but I'm not giving up 2 firsts for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. And everybody that's on TV saying it, you can tell they don't necessarily watch these players or know much about these players, because Buddy Hield, for people to say, oh, he's a sniper or he's a sharpshooter. No, he's not. He's not that. And they shouldn't sacrifice 2 first-round picks for that. Like, that wouldn't make sense. That is not a move that you would see a team like the Warriors make. That's a move that you would see a desperate team make. And I don't think the Lakers should go at this whole thing in desperation. You got to be calculated. You got to be smart about how you utilize these picks and how you're going to. And if you're going to sacrifice your cap space next year, you got to be willing to sacrifice it on players that fit and make sense, and players that are versatile, not just an overrated shooter, a streaky overrated shooter. But you guys tell me what you think in the comments. Let me know.